Hot off the press is the announcement that Top Music will no longer be working with the BBC to supply the artist for Eurovision. You can see the statement here. The gist of it is that they say they are thrilled that the Eurovision in the UK has a bigger and wider audience than before, and to have been part of the UK hosting it in Liverpool with Ukraine this year was an incredible moment for them, showing the unifying power and importance of popular culture. They also say they have been proud of Sam and Mae for representing the UK, and also go on basically to state that they won't be continuing from this point forward. But just who are Top Music? Well, Top Music are a music management company based in the UK who look after established acts such as Nena Cherry, Mabel, Leon of Little Mix fame, Lana Del Rey, Ellie Goulding, and Irish singer-songwriter Dermot Kennedy. Top also nurture new and emerging talent and were responsible for producing Sam Ryder's Spaceman and helped to select Mae Muller to represent the UK earlier in 2023 in Liverpool, of course. Across Instagram and Facebook, I asked your thoughts and feelings about Top Music no longer collaborating with the BBC, and you, of course, as always, answered the call. You'll see across this video selected comments throughout. With Top stepping away, it will be up to the BBC to decide how they want to move forward in relation to their Eurovision campaign. The UK are at an interesting crossroads. In 2022, with Sam delivering the UK's best result since 1997, and even though Mae came second last, she still scored a number 9 hit with I Wrote a Song. And in doing so has shown other potential UK artists that the Eurovision is nothing to be afraid of and can in fact have a positive impact on your career in different ways. Hot off the heels of a UK hosted contest, there is a definite uptick in terms of the level of interest in Britain, and the BBC will need to work to capitalise on this if they're going to have any realistic prospect of winning within the next 5 years. People in the UK have seen the benefits that hosting such a culturally rich musical extravaganza can be, and Liverpool, as well as Ukraine, were put firmly on the world map, in front of the eyes of a substantial global audience. The only way really is onward. I think it's unlikely now that the BBC will pluck TV talent show stars like Michael Rice to compete on behalf of the nation. I think that this would be a retrograde step and wouldn't do much to advance the UK's standing at the competition. There has been talk to the return of a national final selection competition, and I personally don't think this is a bad idea at all. The UK had been known as a nation to have national finals, even when it was one artist picked, like Cliff Richard or Francis Ruffell. They sang a collection of songs, and of course the British public decided on their favourite. Sometimes in the UK it was actually part of the National Lottery programme on primetime BBC One, and produced of course Katrina and the Waves, who went on to win, and the Manny's Where Are You, which went on to place second in Birmingham. The national selection shows in the noughties were very much hit and miss, with the only real standard being the 2009 Eurovision Your Country Needs You competition, where the BBC partnered with Andrew Lloyd Webber to write the song and landed the UK a very respectable 5th place in Moscow. In those days, it's worth remembering that the TV talent show marketplace in the UK was a pretty crowded landscape, with Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother, The X Factor, and Britain's Got Talent, among many others. So it may have been difficult for a Eurovision selection competition to stand out. Some of those talent show big hitters are no longer broadcast, which could pave the way for a wider audience to find its way to a national final selection show. Indeed, many more people are calling on the BBC to look at a national final. I think that they have the budget, and despite what people might think, Eurovision has a large fan base in the nation. It would be difficult to know in which direction the BBC will turn, having had a taste of success and the opportunity to host the contest in 2023. I think the UK will be actively trying to secure a victory and bring the Eurovision back to their shores sooner rather than later. What do you think? Do you think the BBC will and should have a national final? Do you think they will go back to the internal selection? I'd love to know what you think. As always, as I said at the start, and you could see, there were a scattering of different comments across this video, but I'd still love to hear what you think. So do let me know in the comments below. I look forward, as always, to reading those. But until next video, you take care. I'll see you very soon.